Peace through obedience. Earth was quiet, unnaturally so. Once a planet defined by its noise, its music, arguments, protests, and celebrations, it now pulsed under the cold silence of Vakari control. 5 years had passed since the alien Dominion landed their first command spires, leveling entire cities in the name of galactic harmony. New Chicago stood as a model colony, sleek towers built from crushed concrete and carbon steel. Drones buzzed overhead in silent patterns, scanning for violations. No honking cars, no street performers, no graffiti. The air was clean, but it reeked of submission. Darren Kessler watched it all from the shadows of the old underrail tunnels, his boots crunching against gravel as he clutched a satchel to his chest. A Dominion patrol hummed above him, scanning for heat signatures. He waited, breath shallow, as the searchlight passed. Only when the red glare faded did he move again. The satchel didn't carry food or medicine. Inside was something far more dangerous, a flash drive containing 5 outlawed items. One was a digital recording of a Rage Against the Machine concert. Another, a scanned political cartoon depicting the Vakari governor as a lizard in a suit. There was a bootleg documentary on civil disobedience, a file of blacklisted memes, and, most precious of all, raw, unfiltered internet archive from Preoccupation Earth. Darren slipped through a rusted hatch into a hidden alcove beneath an old subway platform. A cracked screen glowed to life, and a masked face appeared. "Courier 6, the figure said. Do you have the payload?" "Yeah," Darren answered. "Right on schedule." He plugged in the drive. The files uploaded. Somewhere out there, human enclaves would see them, laugh, think, get angry. Maybe remember what it meant to be free. The figure on the screen said nothing for a moment, then added, "We intercepted something on an old relay station near orbit." Partial file. Seemed encrypted in old Earth music theory. The screen shifted to a waveform, choppy, distorted, chaotic. Then, like a phantom through static, lyrics emerged. "Ignite the system. Dismantle the machine. Your chains are algorithms. Break them clean." A message buried in song. Not from Earth. Not from here. What does it mean? Darren whispered. The figure leaned forward. "It means we're not alone." And the signal came from within the Dominion's network. Darren felt it then, not just the chill of rebellion, but the electric thrill of purpose. The Vakari thought they'd brought peace through obedience, but they'd only paved over a volcano. He zipped the satchel closed and slung it back over his shoulder. I guess it's time we brought some noise back to this quiet little world. Above him, the Dominion drones hummed past again, orderly, predictable, blind. He grinned. Let's give them something they can't model. And just like that, Darren Kessler disappeared into the tunnels, carrying the first spark of anarchy. Unruly by nature, the Vakari called it social decay. They didn't understand the music, the memes, the graffiti. They didn't understand why humans painted murals instead of obeying. They tried to sterilize every part of human culture that didn't conform. But in doing so, they only made humanity more defiant. Darren ducked into a forgotten maintenance corridor beneath the city's energy grid. The lights flickered from aging circuits, forgotten by the Dominion, perfect for off-grid meetings. Waiting for him in the dim amber glow was Ramia Chen, a tech whiz and former systems engineer who'd once helped design orbital communication arrays before she started sabotaging them. "You're late," she said, tapping away on a handheld console patched together from old Dominion tech and a Game Boy. "Had to dodge 3 patrols and a sanitation drone that smelled like melted fish sticks," Darren said, setting his satchel down. "Worth it, though. Got a fresh dump from the old MIT vaults, chaos theory, philosophy, and an entire season of South Park." Ramia smirked. "That'll definitely confuse them." On the wall, she projected a display of the Dominion's network nodes. "I've been watching their systems. They've got no idea how to filter for human irrationality. Every time we inject a meme or a contradictory statement, their algorithms stutter. They're trying to fight logic errors with order." Darren stayed at the data. "So we don't just break their rules. We break their ability to understand us." "Exactly," she said. "We're not a military threat. We're an idea they can't control." That night, they activated the first stage of Project Anarchy. It began with small hacks. VA drones redirected to chase phantom signals. Traffic control grids pulsing with 8-bit music. Informational broadcast replaced with human stand-up comedy and satirical news. Within 48 hours, Dominion patrols were overwhelmed with reports of ghost attacks, confusing civilian behavior, and unpredictable street events. In Sector 12, an entire crowd spontaneously broke into synchronized dance. In Sector 3, propaganda drones were reprogrammed to shout down with lizard overlords in 12 Earth languages. In the face of chaos, the VA did what they always did: increase control. They imposed stricter curfews. They deployed stricter monitoring. They arrested hundreds. But the humans kept laughing. Ramia tapped into a Dominion communications satellite and injected a looping video, a man in a chicken suit screaming freedom in front of the governor's palace. The clip lasted 7 seconds, but the Dominion's predictive AI crashed trying to understand it. Their order depends on obedience, Darren whispered. But we're not built that way. We're not rebels, Ramia added. We're contagion. Outside, the drone spun through the air in perfect formation, silent, symmetrical, and utterly unaware they were flying over the seeds of their collapse. Inside, Darren queued up the next transmission, music layered with encrypted instructions for every resistance cell around the planet. Then he hit play, and Earth began to laugh again. The virus you invited in. The VA called it anomaly class 7 behavior. What it really was absurdity. Unpredictable, illogical, and spreading like wildfire. In a suburb outside Old Tokyo, a group of children led a drone on a wild chase using nothing but mirrors and cardboard cutouts of cows. In what was left of Berlin, activists rerouted Dominion transport schedules to play Tetris every time a train was late. By the time the VA tried to respond, most of their citywide AI infrastructure was locked in logical paradoxes. Every command they issue triggers 5 unpredictable responses, Ramia said, scrolling through reports. Their order collapses under the weight of our nonsense. She and Darren sat inside a gutted broadcast tower once used to beam Dominion law across continents. Now, it served a new purpose: Anarchy relay. Darren laughed as he played back a highlight reel. Dominion patrols spraying foam at protesters, only to find it filled with glitter. High-ranking officials being lured to decoy meetings by prank emails sent from addresses like wayhumans@resist.net. We haven't fired a single bullet, he said. And they are losing. No doctrine, no generals, no master plan, Ramia said. Just entropy. The key wasn't destruction. It was disruption. Resistance cells acted with complete independence, bound only by the shared goal of making the Dominion's systems unusable. They overloaded them with contradiction, randomness, creativity, everything the VA couldn't model or control. In response, Dominion officials grew frantic. Sector commanders issued contradictory orders. Patrol drones were grounded to avoid further viral exposure. But the real victory came when they took the fight off-world. Ramia cracked into an orbital relay station and embedded a payload in a maintenance update. Encrypted Earth media, wrapped in subversive human culture. Within hours, Dominion communication hubs across 3 sectors started glitching from exposure. Their systems couldn't handle satire. Their algorithms had no defenses against sarcasm. Dominion AI began flagging random Earth phrases, yeet, your mom, okay boomer, as security threats. In the orbital command spire, Commander Virek screamed into a void of crashing logic trees. His underlings offered no answers. His models, built to predict behavior with new perfect precision, now failed entirely. The humans are fracturing the structure, one aide said. We can't contain it. It spreads through interaction itself. Virek slammed his clawed fist on the console. Then isolate them. Silence the planet. Cut every link. But it was too late. In every city on Earth, humans were laughing, dancing, painting, mocking, hacking, glitching, living. And none of it followed a pattern. That night, Darren broadcast a simple message, echoed by hundreds of relay towers across the globe. This isn't your empire anymore. This is our playground. Then came a wave of noise, static, screaming, music, memes. Not rebellion, not war, an infection. The Vakari had enforced their rule with logic, but they had underestimated the human soul, messy, defiant, and absolutely uncontrollable. You can't rule what won't obey. The orbital fleet began its retreat at dawn. One by one, the sleek Vakari warships pulled away from Earth's orbit like predators abandoning spoiled prey. To Commander Virex, it was not a withdrawal. It was exile. Earth had become ungovernable, not because of force, but because of resistance without center. A world that no longer obeyed the rules simply ceased to be manageable. From the charred ruins of the old broadcasting spire, Darren and Ramia watched the ships fade against the early sky. "They are leaving," she whispered, barely believing it. They actually gave up. Darren sat on the edge of the roof, legs dangling over the side, chewing on a power bar he found in a scavenged vending machine. "They came to rule," he said, "but you can't rule what laughs in your face." Across Earth, the aftershocks of the human uprising echoed, not in violence, but in creativity. Street musicians tuned their instruments on liberated corners. Children played with drones reprogrammed to do loop-de-loops. Old books were passed hand to hand. Encrypted forums exploded with ideas, not for governments, not for empires, but for communities built on cooperation, individuality, and shared defiance. A new world was being born, and it wasn't organized. "We're not going back to old power," Ramia said. "Not the old Earth regimes. Not the Dominion. We don't need thrones. We just need space to be wild." On a cracked tablet, she pulled up reports from Dominion-controlled systems light years away. Virex's resignation had triggered fractures in the wider Vakari Empire. Colonized species were intercepting the same chaos signals: Earth music, comedy, encrypted guides on cultural sabotage. One alien race painted their city streets with color for the first time in generations. Another dismantled their Dominion oversight computers and replaced them with theater stages. The anarchy was spreading. Darren leaned back on his hands, the wind catching his jacket like a flag. "It wasn't just for us," he said. "We gave the galaxy something they didn't expect." Ramia smirked. "Permission to misbehave." That evening, as the last Dominion ship disappeared into the stars, a global broadcast went out from the old International Space Station, now under human control. Darren's voice echoed through every device that could still receive. "We were never yours. We never will be. You tried to make us behave. We broke the mold. We're not rebels. We're not soldiers. We're humans, and we are chaos wrapped in flesh." Then came silence, then laughter, and then music. Earth music. Loud, wild, unfiltered. In glowing spray paint across the ruins of the governor's palace, someone had scrawled the words in massive looping letters. "You tried to enforce your rule. We gave you anarchy." The message was clear. Earth had been conquered once. Never again.